Hello YouTube and welcome to the first episode in the Nisemonogatari reaction series, as part of the Monogatari reaction series. It's great to be back. I don't know if you noticed over the weekend or a little bit before the weekend as well, I didn't upload any videos. I didn't upload Panty and Stocking, nor did I upload the Tatami Galaxy. That is because I was away. I was away at the AFL Grand Final and was in Melbourne for the weekend and it was really fun. But now I'm back home and ready to start uploading videos again. So that explains why there's been a little bit of a lapse there, but back to it now, and I'm going to endeavor to catch up in the future. Last week we wrapped up Kizumonogatari, and appropriately there was a ton of comments to go through. So I've kind of done the format I did for the first Kizumonogatari movie, where I've kind of summarized the thoughts of a few comments that were similar in nature, and given credit where credit is due. If I miss anybody, thank you again for the comment. I still read them all, and yeah, they're all really fantastic. It's just that this week they're all very long as well. And I don't mind the long comments. Please keep them up. Just harder to read through in such a format. There was a bit of a theme about being hypocritical and how does that relate to being human, and then how that relates to Nisemonogatari going forward and the Japanese word for hypocrisy. These kind of thoughts were brought up by Simon and Kramer. And I'm just interested in that going forward into Nisemonogatari, if that'll have any relevance there. But also, yeah, they were hypocritical in Kizumonogatari, everybody really. Kind of in that Shinobu wanted to die for Araragi, and Araragi wanted to die for Shinobu, and they ended up in some kind of level where neither could be happy, but also neither died. It's kind of this symbiotic thing going on. And it was really quite beautiful. Upon reflection, I actually really loved Kizumonogatari 3. I thought it just really fantastic conclusion of that arc in the story. I love how it links into stuff that happens later. You know, justifies stuff, makes sense. And yeah, altogether just really beautiful. Really well executed. Loved it. This kind of ties a little bit into Gian Bueno's comment regarding Oshinomeme as a balancer, taking the heart from Shinobu, or Kiss Shot, or whatever we're calling her, in an endeavor to try to make it a fair fight between her and the vampire hunters. And indeed it was, and she lost. So props to Oshinomeme, I guess. He accomplished what he set out to do initially. Before the final fight, Kishshot kind of tells Araragi that she isn't going to use most of her vampire powers, something that isn't really explained in the movie as such and needs a little bit of novel help. Again, Gian Bueno, Kramer, and Chance Lewis all bring up this point. And yeah, it kind of struck me as a little bit weird that Kishshot didn't immediately destroy Araragi, but later we find out the reasons for that. It was entirely her plan all along to let Araragi kill her, for lots of reasons we went into last episode in the analysis portion. But yeah, I guess that's just so it wasn't obvious to Araragi that she was doing so, which I think makes sense. There was a little bit of conjecture here regarding the Japanese flag and meaning to symbolize the sun, and vampires don't like the sun, and is that the connection there? That's the connection I kind of posited last video as well, and we didn't really get a definitive answer there. I don't know. It's still a cool technique. I really loved it. I also think there's maybe some connection there to the Olympics kind of motif that they got going on later. It's very kind of nationalistic symbol in this, competition of nations. There's something there. I don't really have the connective tissue to connect that again to the story of Kizumonogatari, but it kind of makes sense, kind of. And yeah, Kramer and Hot Wheels Kid both posited a similar point there. I love the comments of Benjamin Lee. I wanted to ask him a little bit if he's listening. Hello, Benjamin. Do you study Japanese? Do you know Japanese? Because I find your comments really interesting regarding that. In his comment here, he's kind of talking about kizu meaning scars, and then kizumono meaning damaged objects, and how this kind of relates to the ending lines of Kizumonogatari from Araragi, kind of in that summary that he does at the end. I find that really interesting stuff. There's also a little bit more of this kind of kanji analysis with regards to Nisemonogatari that we've seen a little bit, and how that relates to certain words. And I mean, Nisio-sin just likes his puns, right? So again, I find this stuff really interesting, so keep up that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. Alice Bainsuntaus kind of had this comment about a personal nitpick with the subbing. He kind of says in a different fan sub, Oshinomeme implies that he divvied up the unhappiness, much like a balancer, which is his role, as opposed to making everybody unhappy, which was the subbing in the commie subs that I used. He also has a little comment here regarding the Kizumonogatari novel and how the sisters wake him up at the end of it all, kind of tying it back into the series proper. and I found that pretty enjoyable because I like that little trope that they got going on. There'll also be a little bit more discussion about subbing later, so we'll get to it. But yeah, Dharma Imancia, again, I'm not unsure if I'm saying that correctly. He had a comment regarding kind of Hanakawa's experience in all these movies, and then she thinks she has a good thing going on with Araragi, and then kind of Senjugahara swoops in, and you know, literally she meets Araragi like that day, and then the next day they're going out. Right? It's something to that effect, which is kind of insane. So yeah, of course Hanakawa would be stressed at the situation. It's, hugely unlikely. She thought she had a good thing going on and then somebody just swoops in and takes it. I'm wondering if this will get explored later. Please don't tell me if it does, but it's pretty interesting to me, I think. Then I had this full Hot Wheels kid comment I wanted to read because I found it really interesting and I think he's really onto something. Here's my 5-head analysis of the Kizu storage room scene. Throughout the novel, they make constant allusions that the act of feeding and creating kin is similar to reproduction for vampires, in other words, sex, to the point where Kishshot is referred to as surprisingly chaste because she's only ever made 2 kin. The main thing I think Nisio was trying to do was draw a parallel between Araragi's sexual appetite for Hanakawa and his actual appetite. In retrospect, this is exactly what he's doing. In the second movie, Hanakawa asks him if he feels the need to eat, and he says he surprisingly hasn't felt hungry at all. Meanwhile, the camera eyes up Hanakawa's body. It's even more obvious in the delusion/dream sequence where he eats Hanakawa's face. Given that both of these appetites are something that he's deeply ashamed of and trying to repress, it makes a ton of sense that most sexually charged scene in the books comes directly after Hanakawa says, "Go ahead and eat me," and Araragi is like, "Bet." The fact that he doesn't go through with it is symbolic of him overcoming this animalistic vampire nature. This obviously isn't a healthy approach to sexuality, but it certainly is in character. Some people see these movies and wonder why Araragi doesn't get together with Hanakawa when she obviously likes him. But it becomes more obvious when you realize that Araragi views his sexual desire for Hanakawa as an instinctual thing that he must need to overcome. In Bake, when Senjo flat out says that they will not be doing anything sexual for a good while, I see this as an equally good thing for Araragi as it allows him to realize that his romantic and sexual feelings aren't necessarily one and the same, and he truly loves her without any shame attached to it. Again, I'm kind of just going to leave it how it is there. That's really quite beautiful. I really love that interpretation, and I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to adopt it myself. It's something I'm going to be looking for going forward, especially with regards to, appetite. Could you tie that into the scene where Senjugahara is feeding Araragi? Maybe that's a bridge too far. I don't know. But these are the kind of comments I love. Just as wild as the theory is, if you got the evidence to back it up, I will read it and enjoy it. Again, Monogatari is great because it gives you the fuel, it gives you the components you need to make these kind of implications. You just need to put them in the right order and write them down. It's very much open to interpretation, and I love it for that. So big thank you for the comment there, Hot Wheels Kid. There was a couple more comments here, but they're kind of trending a little away from Kizumonogatari and more towards the future and other stuff. I just wanted to thank Fernando Lemus's comment for spoiler tagging itself, I guess, because I'm keen on seeing the new Chainsaw Man anime. I haven't read the manga. I would also be keen on doing it on the channel if it was something that was desired. So I just wanted to thank him for spoiler tagging his comment that kind of alludes to some stuff in Chainsaw Man, because I do want to go in completely blind. There was a couple comments in regards to Nisemonogatari kind of having a weird reputation and kind of preparing me for that. It was never meant for publication, and then Monogatari got more popular, and then they needed to adapt it, and blah 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 blah. So again, I think somebody said it was fan fictiony. So we're gonna see what that means. Thank you for Matt and Fluxio for those comments there regarding that. Fluxio also commented on something I said a while ago, which is I was going to do a Bakemonogatari episode ranking. Now looking at Monogatari series as a whole, it's very hard to do that because my feelings have changed dramatically for certain episodes, such like Nadeko's Snake, as we go forward in the series. I think it'd be weird kind of ranking them without having the full series context. So I will be doing some kind of ranking right at the end of everything, but that is so far in the future that it's weird to even talk about. Finally, and this one is the most relevant to the recording session today, is that Nathaniel, Matt, and Hexagon are all discussing different subtracks and what I should use going forward. I think there's arguments for MTBB, Commie, and a certain other set of subs that Matt recommended, which is kind of Commie but altered. For today, I'm going to use Commie subs because that's what I was going to use anyway. If there's significant push for another different subtrack by multiple people, then I will use it. I'll re-download some stuff and try to make it work. Again, I want to get the best experience on my first go through, so the subtrack's important to that. I find it important anyway, so please try to point me in the right direction. Again, I have no idea. I'm kind of going to neglect the recap of the last movie, Kizumonogatari 3, for today, because I don't see it as especially relevant going forward. I could be wrong, but if I am, just know that I have like 40 or 50 minutes of analysis after the last recording session regarding it, so if you want a recap on Kizumonogatari, that's probably the place to go. Instead of that, we're going to have a look at the key visuals. Last week, I kind of forgot to do that with regards to Kizumonogatari 3, but I've had a quick look at the key visual now, and it was kind of continuing the trend of Shinobu kind of getting older with each of the posters. So this is like full adult Shinobu, she's looking mean, and yeah, that makes sense going forward in the series. What I am going to do today is look at the Nisemonogatari key visual. So I'll bring it up here for myself and pop it on screen. And what do I see? I see the 5 girls from the last kind of series, Bakemonogatari. I see Hitagi, Mayoi, Suruga, Nadeko, and what's Hanakawa's other name again? Tsubasa Cat, of course. So they're all there. The 5 arcs from last time makes perfect sense. Around the outside, I expect them to continue to be in the show going forward. What do I see in the middle, though? I see the 2 sisters. I see Araragi's 2 sisters, I should say. So it's telling me that there will be central figures in this season going forward. Other than that, the key visuals pretty nice. I like the colors on the Nisemonogatari logo there, which will also probably be on the thumbnail that I make. Kind of got a bit of a star thing going on in the background, maybe relating to Senjogahara's thing with Araragi towards the end of last season as well. But yeah, just in general looks quite nice. Again, not quite as abstract as the Kizumonogatari key visuals, but this was 2012 and that was a little bit later. I think this is 2012. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 2012. Just got a couple predictions / observations going forward. A couple comments said that Nisei means fake or false. I knew this because I know of Nisekoi. I've read half of Nisekoi, and I still don't know who wins, but anyway, we're not talking about Nisekoi today. I wonder what this means in regards to like a false story. So Nisei means fake or false. Monogatari means story, fake story, false story. Then pop that into the couple comments previous around the word hypocrisy. So I think this will be very meta, especially in combinations with the like pseudo warning I got from some of the comments as well. I'm just going to be prepared for anything really, which is what I've been doing all the time anyway. The first episode here I have today is called Karen B, and that seems to be the arc for the next 7 episodes. This tells me 2 things. 1, that the arc is about Araragi's sister Karen, and 2, that the oddity in this arc is a bee. Now, what does this mean? Because we kind of had a look before and we saw some connections with cats to Hanakawa, we saw some connections with crabs to Senjogahara, we saw some kind of whatever the oddity is has some connection to either their temperament or what is going on with them or something like that, right? So I wrote a few thoughts down here, and these might be a little bit wild, but we'll see if any of them come to fruition. Bees have a stinger. Bees to honey, in kind of like a sexual way, maybe. Bees serve a queen, or a bee is a queen. Bees are fat. Bees were never meant to fly. There's lots of stuff going on there, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. This arc, as I said before, is also 7 episodes, and I'm taking Matt's advice in his comment to this, where with regards to stopping points, I'm going to do 2 today, 3 by itself, 4 and 5 together, and 6 and 7 together. I think that's the plan, unless, I don't know, I run out of time for some reason. Other than that, I should be good to jump right into the first episode of Nisemonogatari. But before that, just some chill stuff. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Just wanted to stop here also and say thank you for the support on the channel right now. It's really blowing me away. I always look at like kind of the analytics and stuff, and it's all pointing in the right direction. So that's really awesome. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. What was I up to? Oh yeah, comments. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I can do to improve my presentation, or anything else in general. Comment below. And I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so if you follow me, I'll follow you back, and we can see each other's tweets and interact and do all sorts of cool stuff. It'll be awesome. But other than that, I'm just going to jump right into the first episode of Nisemonogatari. Rightio, got the first episode of Nisemonogatari up here ready to go. I'm using the commie subs like I said previously, but am open to suggestions to change. The time cut on this episode is 26 minutes and 17 seconds. I'm going to pop that up on screen now. And yeah, we're just going to jump right in, I think. Rightio, going to give it a 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, crack. Like an egg. Yes, the change back to the kind of Bakemonogatari style. Okay. Aragi's been kidnapped, but he seems to also be in the cram school. Summer vacation. Yes. By whomst? Yes, hello. Senjo? Yes. Uh. It's nice to see Senjo Gahara again, though. What did you do? I mean, that's a good point. No. Okay, good threat. Bees do, though. Poison? Oh, the subs there are crazy too. It's been a while since I watched Eva. What is going on? Oh, it's like bright. Oh yeah, we'll get new openings too. That's cool. Hmm. Drink that antidote. Now I'll get you to drink it. Oh no. Oh, the shot that was crazy. Like the silhouette there. That was cool. Yeah. Yeah, a bit too much. I like the audio production there. Yeah. Yeah, it's not really much. Drink it off my finger? Yes. Naughtily lick it like a giraffe, of course. Yes, they should. Yes, he is. Yes. Great. Why don't you take a picture? Yeah. He just wants some rice, man. I don't know that pun. Time passes. Yeah, I agree. I won't let you die. Yeah, but why? What's after you? I'll change your diaper. Yes, we know that. uh, yeah, bordering on obsession. Great. New opening. Still got a good staple. Love a good staple. I feel like I've definitely heard this song. This seems still very much Senjukahara, though. Yeah, this is a bop. Oh, it's the staircase, of course. I mean, like the lines of a page. That's awesome. Impostery, of course. As we were talking about before. Oh, yeah, great. Okay, that seemed quick at least. It just seemed kind of one page. I completely forgot about the text on screen. Okay. Oh, yeah, because you want to go to the same college. Yeah, you literally can't lose, bro. Exactly 2 days. Thanks, Hanakawa. Yes. Feet. Yeah, Karen. Their house is kind of nuts. Yeah, they seem way more responsible than you. Yeah, completely. Are they? Yeah, this is all very suspicious. Of course they are. Fights are like almost important. And I wouldn't think that they would be the type to fight. Yeah, get thrown at. Oh, she's dead. Yeah. What's Sengoku up to? Hello, Sengoku. I don't even remember what that was, so. Yes. I love the visual design. Oh, that's really cool. I'm busy every day but today. No time but now will work. Great. Okay, bye. Of course she would. Are you still are you still that stubborn? Or not stubborn, thick? What's the word? Oblivious? Interesting question. I mean, you're Kambaru's friend. You're unfortunately Hanakawa's friend. For her, anyway. Sparring. Okay, so she does karate. That sounds like your problem. Wait, she's taller than you? That's a little bit funny. Yeah. Don't grow up and leave us behind. Yes, all those locations. I know those. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I guess that's right. So it's out of protection. But they don't understand that. Oh, hello. Hello, Hachikuji. No, 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 not that look. Not again. Oh, has he had other thoughts? Hmm. I love the stage here. Stretching. You're always happy to see her. Come on, man. Look at him go. There he is. I thought he was going to suplex her. So again, to everybody else, does he just look like really weird right now? Yep, justified. No, it's Rararagi or whatever. Of course. Signs. Hmm. Very meta. An original member. I don't know, that's hot. Yes. Okay. Just take a hammer to that fourth wall. We don't even care. Yeah, that's a good way to look at life, I think. Yes. She loves money. I remember that. Hi, I. Oh, selling money, selling love for that amount of money? Great. Well, you're not kind of a vampire. Shuraragi? Of course. I see what you guys mean about meandering. Hmm. Yeah, okay. Good point. Also, like how each of the characters kept appearing there. Hmm. Very wise. I'm wondering how this would play if I hadn't watched Kizu. Yes. Not that I'll get it. Where are they? They're like in a church. Great. Maybe like Icarus or something? There's a Phoenix stuff going on in the last movie too. Hmm. Exactly. It really is an amazing structure, I think they're trying to say. Oh, that was pretty funny. Yeah, sick. Great. Good. He is. All right, pretty good. The technology I developed. Yes, maybe. No. Consumer demand. No. We're just going to leave that, I think. I love this. Yeah. And kind of the sisters were there now. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of her lot in life. I'm sure next time he'll just say hello and act completely normal. I don't think she's going to go away. Hmm. I think he would. There you go. Yeah, it really is. I thought it was more just convenient for the story, but sure. Like the lighting here is really cool. It's got a bit of that Steins Gate lighting going on. Is that the end? I think it is. I wonder if they're going to fulfill the dancing ED little meta joke there. The CD has a lot to live up to. Oh, it's like a train. Makes sense. It's got that same art style. I forget the person. He had his name in Kizumonogatari 3. Oh, I love Claris. I thought it sounded like them. Doesn't really sound like them in the music department though. Got a bit more of that rock guitar going on. And yeah, I will be sure to read the lyrics to both the ED and the OP very soon. Is it a next time on type situation? Seems like it is. Yeah, it says preview, so I'm probably not going to watch that. Right, yeah, let's jump in and do a quick bit of analysis on that episode. So, what did I think of that episode? It was nice, kind of return to the Monogatari that I know, which is pumped full of dialogue, pumped full of references. This one broke the fourth wall way more than previous episodes, though, but it still kind of did that. It's very different to Kizu, which I guess only makes sense considering the differences that we talked about from Bake to Kizu. Going back again is going to have the same differences. In that way, it feels a lot more like a sequel to Bake, which it is. It makes sense. I'm kind of left at the end of this first episode saying, so what really happened? There was kind of the starting scenes with Senjugahara and Araragi, where she kind of imprisoned him in the cram school for his own safety, to protect him, she said, which is interesting, and resulted in some nice, Monogatari-esque banter between the two. Still definitely Senjugahara, still definitely got that kind of mean streak, definitely got that we got a bit of a femdom thing going on, but anyway. Then we kind of jump back in time, seemingly to summer break, and we kind of go from there. He's going to go see Sengoku. That's kind of the story from where we are at this point. There's a little bit of context there with the sisters, which I'm sure will come up again later. Little few references to a bee, which, could only be foreshadowing. And then a big long conversation with Hachikuchi to kind of end it off. So again, not much in the plot department, but we don't mind that. That's kind of what we're used to at this point, if that makes any sense. I'll pop the episode up here. And I'll just kind of pause it whenever I find something interesting. I'll do my, first run through read of the opening and a read of the ending as well. Both of which I really enjoyed, just for the record, getting it out of the way. But yeah, back into the kind of the episodic pace of it all. It's quite comforting. It's nice. This happened 10 days into summer vacation on the 29th. Okay, interesting. So I'll have to grab a date later, and then we can kind of put together a little bit more of a timeline there. I like this non-linear story they're kind of telling. It's kind of similar to how I noted in a couple of the Kizumonogatari movies, how we started with a scene that was a little bit into the movie before getting to it, normally roughly about half an hour in. Just a nice little teaser to get you interested, I guess. So, because if I didn't have that, I kind of would just be like, oh yeah, it's kind of like an OVA even. It's just really kind of talking with the characters some more, not a lot of plot stuff. But now we've kind of got this, the hook, right? Which is, okay, Senjukahara is imprisoning Araragi for a reason. And now we got to figure out what said reason is. Does that have some implications to Karen, who is being foreshadowed as something going on there? So again, we will see. I don't really quite know what to make of it, but I like the color changes in this scene. So we start here, we're very like black and white, and we go through a green color palette. I think there's a blue, I think there's a purple. Just kind of dressing up the scene a little bit, making it interesting. Maybe it relates to different times of day or different moods or something. But I'll have a look now. Either way, it's nice. Just spices it up. I threw away the key. I also threw away the antidote, and yeah, again, she trolls him. It's definitely Senjugahara. She's having look at her. She's having a great time. It's great to have her back. Honestly, again, we haven't really seen Senjugahara for a good long while now, so having her back's nice. Float like a butterfly, sting like a butterfly. I'm guessing this is some other Japanese pun as well. Again, specifically not using the word bee. Can only be foreshadowing, I think. Bee poison is strong, and then she says, I'll protect you. Okay. I'd prefer to enjoy this conversation with no unnecessary Evangelion references. Is this kind of here an Evangelion reference? Again, it's been a while since I've seen Eva. I don't get the most obvious references sometimes, so a little bit of help there would be great. Yeah, we kind of go purple here, and there's an intense focus on the drink, on the water, I'm guessing it is, maybe like a sparkling water or something. And becomes kind of the object of the scene, right? That's the focus, in that it's shining like that. Is that kind of what the color changes indicate? I don't know. It's weird. Like kind of the fisheye thing they have going on with the with the focus on the shoes. Again, very dominant from Senju. She kind of tells him to lick the water off my finger, which he does. Again, she's just having a great time bullying the shit out of him. But again, this is kind of to keep his mind off other stuff, I'm guessing, because he seemingly doesn't have any memory of what has happened up to this point. And, just keeping him kind of his mind active whilst in captivity. You could look at it kind of a couple of different ways there. I wouldn't be surprised if later in the series we see her phone cover or something, or phone wallpaper, and it's like a picture of him in handcuffs or something. Again, just a bit freaky from old Senju. Then they go into a big long tangent around onigiri and bread and cake, and I didn't really get it, but anyway. Monogatari's Monogatari, man. I was raised amidst butterflies and bees, so apparently there's a pun around, or a story, or I don't know what other words you could use, metaphor. I was raised amidst butterflies and flowers, is what it's supposed to be, but she specifically uses the word bee, so again, unsure there, and then force feeds him in onigiri. I think the reference to cake there was also maybe a let them eat cake thing, maybe? And then how tyrannical? I don't know. Weird. So Senju says she's going to make lunch starting tomorrow, and then that gets, Araragi thinking. What are her motives? Oh, her motives are super clear. She just wants to protect Araragi at this time. So whatever's after him, this is her plan, and this is for his own good, if that makes any sense. That's kind of Araragi reading between the lines there. And there's a big long part about feces with this like increasingly intense look on Senju face. I don't know, I found it humorous. I like how intense it gets with the shadows and stuff. Just good stuff. Cool, and then we kind of jump into this opening. I'll kind of go through it a little bit and read the lyrics and come up with a bit of a summary right there at the end instead of pausing my way through the entire thing. Rightio, first I'll have a little talk about the visuals of the opening, which I quite enjoy. Still obviously using kind of this stationary motif that they have with Senju. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Senju VA is also singing this song. I'm pretty sure that's the case. The song's pretty good. I would listen to it in my own time, I think. The color work's nice. I like how there's kind of splashes of, I'm guessing it's paint or glue or something at some point. There's kind of rips in the pages. This is obviously line paper of the stairway where they met for the first time. And yeah, just in general, pleasant to look at. It's a good opening, I think. I think the more interesting stuff for the story going forward comes in the lyrics of the opening, which, if we can imply that it's from Senju point of view, uh, there's a particular line that says, I'll stop your sisters, I'll claim you, I'll claim your attention, I'll turn things back to the way they were no matter what. So I'll keep it in mind going forward, for sure. But again, we don't really know the context regarding the sisters yet and what's really gone on there. There was also some nice, cute stuff at the start, like, oh yeah, I'm still nervous around you. I'll look through the window, I'll pretend to be looking at the scenery, and I'll see a reflection in the glass, and it'll still make me nervous. Again, if we were to go somewhere today, would I find my way back to you? All these kind of nice metaphors. It's kind of internal dialogue for Senju, I think. But again, could be completely wrong. Good opening in totality, I think. I wonder how long it's going to stick around. And then we have this, which I've just paused on here, so I guess I'll just read it aloud because it's one screen. Araragi Karen and Araragi Tsukihi are my little sisters, are the central element of the story, though I very much doubt there would be any group of people in this world interested in it. Also, even if I suppose there was such an extraordinary demand, I would not want to go into thorough detail about the two of them. However, if they were not my little sisters, most probably they would never have anything to do with me, and even if they did, I am as I am, I would just ignore them. Well, that being said, it is only fair that I honestly admit that my thinking like that is mostly a result of my inferiority complex, jealousy, and bias towards them. In sharp contrast to me, who spent his high school days lazily and therefore fell behind, Karen and Tsukihi, again I'm struggling with that one, are doing great. But I want to say it loud. While they have not fallen behind, they are problem children, and though they are persons of character, at the same time their characters are failing. The Fire Sisters of Suganoki Second Middle School. Araragi Karen is the fighter of the Fire Sisters, and Araragi Tsukihi is the brains. Like that, the two of them spent their days like a helper squad or a team to make the world better, or something along those lines, acting like friends of justice. But I, as their relative, can assure you that what they are doing is not something so great, it is merely an outlet for their energy. Araragi Karen and Araragi Tsukihi, the acts of the two of them, of the Fire Sisters, are really merely acting as great friends of justice. My dearest little sisters, you two are hopeless imposters. Again, tying into imposter story. So they're imposters of friends of justice. They are doing it probably. They're not being altruistic. There's some kind of motive there, that self motivation to what they're doing. Again, I'm sure we'll go into this more, but this is a nice kind of setting the stage moment, I think. So this is Araragi waking up on the 29th? Question mark? And then it was the 30th back earlier. So this all happens today, this entire arc. Interesting. Okay. Well, not the entire arc, but up to when he gets kidnapped anyway. Kidnapped. I don't know what's happening. One thing I'll think about going forward is there's no Oshino Meme, so whatever solution we find, it's not going to be, trying to find Oshino and figuring it out from that perspective. Araragi is being tutored by both Hanakawa and Senjogahara, two pretty smart kids, so he should be doing a lot better in his exams going forward. Again, the motivation here is to go to the same university / college as Senjogahara, so he's got to study hard. This is Tsukihi. Again, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Tsukihi. I guess that sounds right. And she is the brains of the operation, apparently. As we can kind of see with this conversation with Araragi. Again, she kind of gives me. I don't have a little sister, but I'd imagine that this is what they're like. Just, talk back a lot, not really that interested in what you have to say. Going through a little bit of a troublesome period, I think. Teenage girls and all that. Araragi kind of asks where Karen is, and then Tsukihi kind of deflects a little bit, says, "Oh, you're always worrying about us. It's like you don't trust us," and then worry and trust aren't the same things, and blah, blah, blah. Go into that kind of conversation. I like some of this weird abstract art that they have on the walls. It's actually pretty cool. I don't really know the meaning. It's got the kind of Tsukihi hair clip thing going on here. Is this like their interpretation of family photos? Again, weird. Is this kind of the dates? Because it stops at 30? Strange. I'm not going to do too much digging here. It's probably not entirely relevant. She went to go help people out of trouble. Okay. So kind of being this warrior of justice that she wants to be. I have to imagine that all of these book titles are somewhat relevant as well. The Book of Reading Other People's Minds, The Art of High Quality Lies, How to Debate, Teen Communication. Just a hunch. And I kind of agree with what they're saying here, that there's a proper way to fight, and fight's actually important for development and emotional development and that kind of thing. Something I probably personally agree with a little bit. It's good to fight in a good setting, and if it doesn't turn completely toxic, it's good in your emotional learning when you're a teenager. I think she kind of snaps here a little bit and just kind of tells him to f off because he's annoying her, which is pretty normal stuff. They imply that Karen here is the fighter of the two, which makes sense. She knows karate, and she's in middle school, I think, and she's already taller than Araragi, which is, sucks to be you, Araragi, I guess. But yeah, it's they're firmly setting up these two characters going forward, I think. And Araragi kind of ends this scene. Well, I say ends this scene, but he doesn't. He's kind of like, oh well, they are my sisters, so but I wouldn't want them any other way. I wouldn't want them as quiet as Sengoku. And then that gets him thinking about Sengoku when at some point he said, "Oh yeah, I'll come over and visit sometime." And he kind of acts on that, considering he has nothing else to do today, considering his tutoring got cancelled. I wonder if the Hanakawa thing is going to come up, whatever she's doing today and tomorrow that, needs attention now. I'm gonna imagine not really, but again, I'm a Hanakawa enjoyer, so I'm always on the prowl for more of that, even though we just got a nice healthy dose in Kizu. So the differences here with Sengoku right now is she seems kind of like super desperate. She's really desperate for Araragi to come over today, in that she's telling like stupid lies, like it can't be any day but today. It can't be any time but right now. You need to come right now, even though that's probably not the case at all. She really wants him to come over today, which, she likes him. It makes sense. And of course, Tsukihi, kind of the brains of the operation, has seen through this already, and, you know, old blockhead Araragi hasn't, which is a little bit funny, I think. I guess this is a good time to talk about the visuals of this show. I mean, there's obviously a fidelity downgrade, but that's just going to come with the territory, obviously. But other than that, I think the visual design stuff is way on point. Love the use of color in this show so far. They've got I commented on it a little bit later, but they kind of got the Steins Gate lighting going on, with everything's really blown out, and you know, again, it feels like summer in Japan, which is Steins Gate's vibe as well. In particular, they've still got some nice visual stuff going on. So whenever Sengoku talks on the phone here, kind of the tree wiggles a little bit. It's cool. They live in like a real like architect house, which I'm not sure if that's purposeful, but again, we don't know Araragi's mom. We haven't seen her. Again, I'm really liking going back to what we were doing before. Kizu was a nice detour, but this is the Monogatari that I really started to dig when we were doing Bake, so this is cool. Oh yeah, Araragi here implies that, oh yeah, because we're going to Sengoku's, I should bring the sisters as well. That would just make sense, right? It's not what she wants, man. And yeah, Tsukihi's click to point that out. Do you believe that boys and girls can be friends is also an interesting kind of plot point. I don't think Kambaru harbors any romantic feelings for Araragi. I don't think so. But most of the rest of the girls do, so it is an interesting query. Well, I guess Hachikuji doesn't either. They're firmly friends, but she is also like 8 and a ghost, so this is kind of the conversation topic going forward, that he stopped sparring with Karen. So what does this tell us? There's a bit of a disconnect between the two right at the moment. Potentially Karen is needing some attention, lost kind of the communication network that they have between siblings. And this has probably been occurring since spring break, when he turned into a vampire. It makes perfect sense. So he doesn't want to spar with her because it might get too intense, that he might just accidentally kill her, because he is actually quite powerful still. So yeah, no Karen sighting this episode, but evidently the arc is called Karen B, so she will be somewhere at some point. Don't grow up and leave us behind. So dealing with you lately has been pretty easy. Don't grow up and leave us behind. You could still be like you used to be with us. We still like you like that. Still that familial connection there, I think. Interesting stuff in contrast to kind of Senjugahara's comments during the opening. If that is character POV based, I'll steal you from the sisters, or whatever it said, or something to that effect. I forget the exact wording. So we'll have to see what happens there. There's a big long scene here where Araragi is weirdo pervert Araragi for a bit, and he breaks the fourth wall a bunch with Hachikuji, and has a big long conversation with Hachikuji. Might just skim through it and see if there's plot relevant stuff. But again, it's Monogatari being Monogatari. What else can I say at this point? My expectations are firmly that this kind of stuff will get worse going forward. So we're in for the long haul, though. So again, I'll just skim through it quickly just to see if there's anything to really talk about. I like this technique here, where it's kind of like the stage in his own mind, but he's also limbering up, getting ready to chase her. Like he's his mind is telling him no, but his body is telling him yes. Anyway, I thought this shot of Hachikuji was really cool. How she like climbs up the post like a cat, and then kind of poses like this. Like, again, this is what actual 8-year-olds are like, if you didn't know. So made me chuckle. They got the signpost thing going on. They've got this obvious silhouette here of Araragi and Hachikuji. Again, feels a lot more like Bakemonogatari than Kizumonogatari at this point, but I'm sure I've said that a number of times. I don't know why you look so sad to be going to Sengoku. What is the exact wording here? Let me get it. Like a story that joked about how it would never be animated, and then by some fluke actually was. Is this some of the text from the Nisemonogatari light novel? I would imagine that that is the case. That's a little bit funny because they're kind of reinterpreting the meta joke from the text into something else now that it actually has been animated. That's funny. Again, the color design here is like really awesome. How these different filters keep dropping over everything. Very obvious silhouette here of somebody dancing. Again, trademark Monogatari stuff. Just very fun to look at. Keeps you visually interested. It's nice. I think I vaguely remember Hachikuji being interested in money during her arc as well. And then she talks about love being worth about 300 yen, which is $3, kind of from the convenience store. Funny. What kind of dance will we do during the ED? I was hoping for something like in Cat's Eye. What is Cat's Eye? Apparently, this is the Cat's Eye ED. Again, this is seems like an 80s show. I thought it was more in line with the kind of trend of current anime, kind of 2010s anime, doing a lot of dance EDs and that kind of thing. But yeah, they go a bit more classical here. That's fun. Again, I had no idea what Cat's Eye was, so that's another reference that's just gone way over my head. Oh yeah, this is yeah, and then this is like that. That's very fun. Okay. Big long scene about adding the word courage to the start of stuff to make it sound more important. It's like a cheat code for the Japanese language, apparently. And they, get into a weird contest around handstanding because he wants to see panties, but he can see panties anyway when he handstands. And anyway, saying courage in front of stuff like the courage to be lazy all day. Like, oh yes, I am courageous. It's a trick to make anything else sound important. Again, I praise the subbing here to make this joke work, but clearly very Japanese and very wordy. What we've come to expect. Yeah, then she lifts up her skirt, and then a big, like, cream pie shoots out of it. I'm just going to leave that one there. I have no clue what's going on there. The supernatural is what's behind the curtain. Normally, you only see what's happening on stage. So, real life is the stage, kind of like the stage before where he was thinking. Maybe that's a little bit too far. And kind of the behind the scenes stuff, the kind of inner workings, are all supernatural. Also, like the mirroring of this scene, like Hachikuji in the foreground, and then they mirror the shot again where, Araragi's in the background. Makes sense as they're, walking behind each other. Great visual technique just to show them walking. It's pretty clever. It's also cheap too. I wish more shows did stuff like this. So if your family should ever find themselves backstage, I'm sure that you can guide them out. And this is kind of a change on the scene that we saw before, where all the different characters in the show are kind of in this film, kind of, what do you got, a film reel? And yeah, now we see the two sisters there as well, implying that they'll get involved in the supernatural soon. Hachikuji says, "Oh yeah, I'm basically always lost, but I always find myself thinking, oh, maybe if I'll see Araragi today, maybe that'll be fun." And then Araragi spins that. He feels kind of touched. He's like, "Well, Oshino Meme just up and disappeared. Are you sure you're not going to do the same?" And uh, Hachikuji kind of implies some cosmic destiny to it all, right? Well, I have to be here for a reason, right? So, why did I stick around? I'm guessing we're going to find that out at some point in the future. So, yeah, I kind of like that as a little bit of an ending to the episode. Just kind of looking forward to what happens in store for Hachikuji's arc. They also kind of foreshadow that there is going to be more to Hachikuji's story. So, interested to see that when we see it. This is the ED here. It's by Clarice. I'm a huge fan of Clarice. I was always unsure how to say it. Seems to have a little bit more of a rock edge to it, which is different to their other stuff. But they've got an association with Shaft. They've made lots of music for them, especially in the not Monogatari series, but they have made music with the Monogatari series now. I was going to say Madoka Magica. Yeah, huge fan of their work. Always look forward to when they do EDs. So EDs, OPs, any music really. And this one's no exception. It's really cool. Uses kind of that same style as the first Bakemonogatari ED. Kind of just shows all the different girls kind of on a train, it seems like. Just going through. Big love heart in the background. Yeah, just, really cool stuff. I don't know much else to say. I might give the lyrics a read a little bit later, but right now I just want to jump into the next episode, and that is what I'm going to do. Rightio, got the episode up here now. What's the time code on that? It is 24 minutes and 49 seconds. Still using the commie subs, and what do I see on screen right now? Just some feet, so I'm at 0 seconds. And yeah, just going to jump right in. So give it a 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, go. Yes, that is Araragi Karen. Always been a tomboy that excelled at most sports. Righto. That's fun. I like this kind of setup here. Okay. Of course. I like the egg. I'm an egg enjoyer. Or maybe it was the egg cracking at the very start of the last episode. Yeah, they're fun. We're justice itself. Where are they, by the way? This is cool. Ooh, the subbing there. Yeah, that's kind of what he was saying before. A different opening? But it's just like kind of got like a scar thing going on. It's really cool. And the hexagons. I'll read this later. I'm just doing a visual focus right now. Yep, seems to be way more Karen focused. Or maybe not. That was an egg, so there's the bee. Whoa, the explosion is cool. Hello, Araragi. That was awesome. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee after all, huh? It's really well animated. Yeah, right. Oh, another big chunk of text. I think I prefer it this way other than the kind of flashes. Hello, Sengoku. Oh, she's got a hairband. Now, maybe I dressed up a little bit. What about it? I like it. You're being a bit obvious, though. It's like a jump scare. Oh, that's a cool shot. Yeah, but there's another pair of shoes. Is that what he's talking about? Locked the door? Is something happening? Don't open it. Yeah? What is that lock? This isn't suspicious at all. Alright. She's trying her best. I don't have a choice in the matter, do I? Good old all summer game. Yeah, but somebody is the king. Yeah. Funny. Oh, she's trying so hard. It'd literally just be, I'm fine with either role. Yeah? Well, the music's fun. Okay. I've never played the game alive. Of course she does. Yeah? I don't think she's glad. Any supernatural stuff? Okay. Oh, yeah? Yeah? Or do the sisters know something's up? Okay. That charm. Hmm. This is really cool too. Potentially how it relates to Araragi? Hmm. Yeah, probably. At some point. Yeah. You should get a shirt that fits you though. I do like the look. Yeah, speaking of different hair, kind of Hanakawa had this different hair going on the key visual as well, so I'm keen to have a look at that as well. Yeah. Uh oh, okay. You are a pervert. That's fun. I like how like how depressing it all is now. Great. Hello. Yes. 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 Love me some Kambato. On the rain in the background. Yeah? Okay, it wasn't rain, it was like the water from the dam. Okay. She's good at stripping. She does it a lot. And we get to see it, that's awesome. Yeah, she can do what she wants. Was this plane as well? Only occasionally. Yeah, it's different. A naked team trip, of course, yes. What's wrong with that? Turn the tables, yeah. My grandmother. She looked at me with sad eyes. Oh no. Great. Zooming. Oh, no visit home though. Oh, hello. Hello, Karen. Acting completely normal, I say. She's actually sick. She's a nutter. Do you have enemies? Well, yeah, we just got away from the whole handstand thing as well. What are you talking about? Yeah, me neither. What, handstands? Yeah, you are. Are you? Volunteer justice. So they still clash a little bit, these two. Are we sparring? She's sick. Are you? You seem sick. And also, like, impossibly flexible. Oh, yeah, this is an interesting shot. Oh, and she's kind of got the egg thing kind of on a belt as well. Okay. Oh, and her and in her hair, in her hair, if I can speak. What are we doing? I wasn't reading. That's pretty cool. That's cool too. What stuff? Tonight, huh? I'm pretty sure I'm going to be locked up by tonight. I think that's how the timeline works. She is taller than him, yeah. We didn't get to hear that. Good. A heroic tale. Great. What's wrong with that? She's sick. Yeah, I like Karen. Karen's cool. Yes, hello. Is she still depressed? Yeah, you're super naked. Has she got different hair too? The paragon of virtue. Yeah, Araragi. Totally. Oh, was that a little smile there? We love Kambaru. We stan Kambaru. Such an ugly thing. Hmm. Yeah. Is she almost laughing? A lot. A lot. Yeah, she'll get mad anyway. And what is that? Don't say that. Yes. Oh, more street signs? They got some renovations done or something. Her room's still very dirty. Oh yeah. It's like kind of this like sushi train thing going on. Yeah. Again, I'm still trying to get the timeline, but this isn't that much after Bucket, right? I am really erotic. What? The waterfall of books. Great, I did it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had some stuff going on. Wait, are they still going through all the BL novels and stuff? Maybe rotten, but I need it. Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Yeah. Well, well, it's a little bit different. It's blasphemous. Yeah, that would be weird. No, I am a pervert. You have to listen to me. He's turning the tables a little bit, though. Well, you definitely are. The lowest stratum. That kind of interpretive dance she's doing is fun, too. That's fun. Got him. Her room is nuts. I like that. What did they throw in there? Oh, and yeah, that's good for a number of reasons. Good. Great, we're back in for the ED again. It's kind of like a speedo or something. Yeah, the ED's really cool. I get what they mean by meandering, though. That girl wearing the school uniform. Found out a while back that I liked her. Okay. Hmm. The lyrics are really interesting. Like you're kind of just this temporary thing. Sometime in the future, I'll move on. This is a bop. Oh, the bass there. Awesome. And yeah, I think it's another next time on. Yeah. Yeah, just a quick little bit of analysis before we finish up for today. Yeah, that episode was really fun as well. Again, just a bit of a snail's pace, kind of meanders a little bit, goes on some weird tangents, but it's Monogatari, I think, anyway. We're starting to get a little bit more of a clearer picture surrounding the sisters, especially this starting movie here. I'll pop it up on screen. Uh, and yeah, just going to go through at my own pace and pause whenever I see stuff interesting to talk about. I might skip a lot of that last part with Kambaru because there was a lot of jokes, but there was some interesting stuff there, especially around his criticism of BL, which is a little bit funny. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, kind of shout outs to this opening movie here. I think it's really well put together. I love the stained glass. I love that we're kind of in this different, kind of more fantastical location, but it's more to imply mood than anything else. And just gives some nice introduction to the two sisters. As we see, it kind of just expounds upon what we read in the previous episode. But yeah, one is the brains, one is the brawn, and, kind of have kind of dominated their middle school in a way. But they're always kind of on the prowl, seeking out this kind of form of justice that they want to find. But they're imposters apparently. We're still to see what that means, but they don't have entirely pure motives to it all. I think a lot of the animation they do on Karen in this episode, especially in the opening, is very good. I think it's very characterful. So just as opposed to it having a lot of frames and a lot of attention put to it, I also think that it helps to convey the character of Karen a lot. Again, kind of this tomboyish type, not too dissimilar to Kambaru. Kambaru is very frank though. She's a bit of a weirdo, where Karen just seems a little more straight laced, just kind of, you know. Again, she seeks out justice. We haven't had much to do with her yet to see her true character, but again, up to this point, I think they're characterizing her quite well, especially in contrast to Sukihi. Again, I still can't say that name. The other sister. A lot of pictures of them naked in this episode. Everybody really. So definitely a little bit more perverted this season. Again, not entirely unexpected, and again, still probably not really a fan. But I'm yet to see anything that is truly like blowing me out of the water. Like, this is disgusting. I can't believe they would do this. Right? This is just all your pretty typical anime stuff up to this point, I think. Yeah, again, the kind of stained glass thing going on. I like how, well, I don't know the Japanese word for sun unless I do, but isn't the moon kind of got a suit in it? Maybe I'm grasping at straws, but kind of got the sun and moon kind of contrasting, kind of stained glass windows behind them there, kind of implying something about their demeanors, I think. And much to my surprise, we've got another opening here. I'm going to give it a quick read and have a quick little talk about the visuals. Uh, First start, I think it's pretty well put together. I think there's a lot of great animation in it. I love the explosion effects. I think there's Araragi's in it at some point, and potentially Senjogahara, but I could just be wrong. A lot of the girls look similar to me, but I'll stop here, I think. She's got a lot of fire metaphors, and then she had the sun behind her. That kind of makes sense. She's very, intense like that. And the lyrics to this point are talking about some kind of dreams. I'm imagining the eye in this. That they all seem to be these openings written to Araragi, if that makes any sense. And yeah, a lot of fire imagery. When we are all together, we can make it through anything, forever through anything. And there was three hands pointing in, maybe the three siblings. And yeah, of course, there's lots of bees, and of course, the kind of hexagonal is the honeycomb. Of course, okay, makes sense. So I'm still to get what they're doing with the bees, but it seems to be some kind of extended metaphor. All in all, good opening. I like the song. I'm a little bit iffy on her singing voice, but again, it's more a character song than it's something you would listen to by yourself anyway. Here's this other little written part again. The older of my little sisters, Araragi Karen, ever since elementary school, she has mostly sported a ponytail, though one time around when she entered middle school, I think she dyed her hair. She made it such a shocking attention drawing pink that not even anime characters could really compete with it. Haha. Her reasons for doing so are a mystery to this day, but the outcome was predictable. Mother slapped her hard in the face. In Mother's defense, that was the one and only time where she'd ever lost her temper and raised her hand at her child. That night, Karen dyed her hair back to black with an Indian ink. However, she kept trying to live up to her notorious middle school debut, and you can guess how that shaped her personality. To be blunt, she isn't what you would call cute, but she is cool. Karen has been training in martial arts for a long time, so she has great posture. Because of that, she has grown a good 5 centimeters taller than she actually is. That also happens to be one of the reasons why she never wears skirts. My legs would look too long in one, she says, as she sets off to school sporting her beloved messy jersey. I guess she's the only one who could still look cool wearing something like that. Okay. Just, it doesn't seem particularly relevant. Tried to, like, kind of, do a very teenage thing, act out, dye your hair, and then was brought back into line. But yeah, she kept trying to live up to that debut where she caused a lot of attention, so she's one of the stars of the school now. Makes sense, right? I'm not going to go through a lot of this scene because a lot of it's really not quite relevant. along with the Kambaro one. We're just kind of checking in with all the characters again, which is fun. I will say Sengoku's a lot more likable here. I like how tryhard she is about everything. She really likes Araragi, and he's very oblivious to that. Um, or he thinks that she's being purposely defenseless. Well, not purposefully, like blissfully defenseless, where she's being purposefully defenseless. Again, there's a lot going on with the character dynamics. I think it's very fun. A lot of the looks she does are cute too. I don't know. I'm coming around on Sengoku. She's pretty cool. I will skip to when it starts to become a little more plot relevant, though. There's a weird charm circulating lately around all the schools. I think Rara and the others are up to something. Rara is in Karen, I think. Well, yeah, Araragi. Okay, I'm dumb. So it has something to do with that charm because uh, kind of Karen wanted to find out what the deal with the snake was, kind of noted that Sengoku wasn't telling the whole truth, especially how it related to her brother, and has gone on the lookout for more stuff. That's kind of what I'm thinking is being implied here. I could be wrong, though. Again, this charm seems important and maybe relates to the phone call that Karen has later in the episode. The two sisters don't believe in the supernatural, they're more pissed off with the fact that this nonsense has been going around at all. Again, how this relates to Araragi is yet to be seen. So the charm they were talking about was more like the curses that were kind of put on each other, and the only one that really manifested was Sengoku's. Interesting. I think that's what they're kind of saying. So yeah, I should probably talk about this with Karen at some point. That she's going around trying to stop the spread of the supernatural stuff and trying to find who's spreading and this kind of thing, right? Especially how that relates to Sengoku is interesting. So yeah, it's all a little bit of a touchy subject at the moment. This is kind of our setup going forward. Araragi says he prefers her kind of with the hairband on, and I can't help but agree. I think it's a better look. Um, so I hope she keeps it around. I think they end up playing Twister or something. Again, Monogatari is gonna Monogatari, isn't it? And then kind of this slam cut like to this really depressing like Nemesis looks like a folk music video or something. Uh, because her mother comes home and then can't be seen with Araragi because she didn't tell her that she was having him over. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's scandalous, isn't it? Well, in this case, it actually was, but you know what I mean. Then enter Kambaro Saruga, who talks about being naked a lot. I like this shot here. It's like she's like a warrior, like a classic, Japanese fiction hero, like a ninja or something. She's very cool. And then she just talks about being naked for a while on the phone with the giant, like, kind of water coming behind her as well. Not her, but him. I don't know. They're very clever, aren't they? Kambaro continues to be fantastically entertaining. I love it whenever she's on screen. Just a great presence and a great bouncing off point for Araragi. In this episode, they're kind of trying to one up each other with how perverted they can be, which is, always fun. I like that her grandmother also walks in while she's trying to do so and just looked disappointed. Very funny. Oh, so he kind of comes over to clean her room. I did miss that in the dialogue. Okay. That's why they were cleaning up so much. I love the way that all the books act in kind of her room. At one point, there's a waterfall of books. She's kind of got this production line of books. She's got a lot of like construction equipment around her house, like it's some big industrial operation to clean her room. Just great exaggeration stuff. Reminds me a lot of Kaguya-sama or something like that. Just huge mammoth kind of overstatement of what they're actually doing for comedic effect. It's really cool. Now comes probably the most interesting scene in the episode going forward for plot reasons is the scene with Karen and Araragi. Well, I guess they're both Araragi at this point, but you know what I mean. It seems like she also has the egg thing and then has the egg thing on her belt as well. So the sisters have that in common, I guess. I know I talked about it before, but a lot of character and animation, it's very cool. Like the way she moves around, especially when kind of she got the handstand thing going on and she's like upside down a lot of the episode. There's a particularly questionable shot between her legs that they use a lot, which I'm not exactly a fan of, but at least it's creatively put together, I think. In the dialogue, there's a little petty sibling talk back and forth, like, "Oh, you probably don't even know what that means." That's kind of juxtaposed with the two of them kind of fighting quite seriously and like rubble flying everywhere and stuff. It's kind of fun. She says she's a bright burning girl. Oh yeah, this is the shot I'm talking about as well. Which is again this whole fire thing they got going on. I don't know how fire and bees kind of come together. I think you use smoke to tame bees. I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch though. She kind of tries to say some cool like phrases whilst in an uncool pose, which is again very aware that they're in a story. Then kind of she gets a phone call and she's like, "Yep, I'll definitely tell you guys tonight. The issue will be resolved by then." Again, we still don't know what the issue is, but it's somehow related to the supernatural and the spreading of information. At least that's what Sengoku implied. So we're gonna need to watch that going forward. They're very hush hush on the information at this point, which I kind of like. It's helping me to, giving me a lot of space to get it all together, I guess. She also does like a million flips away, which is very fun. Now here's a very long scene where Araragi looks at Kambaru naked, but she's kind of in on it, and she's teasing him, right? And then he gets his back at the end. I don't know. It's very tit for tat. They've got a great thing going on. The relationship between these two. I think it's very cool. I like how we're just checking in with everybody too. I think now we've checked in with all the main characters of the last season, so it makes sense. There was a whole lot of Japanese puns here that went over my head, which I'm not Japanese. I think the subbing team are doing their best, but still, it's not always fantastic. Again, what can you do? I get the feeling mostly she's just being kind of ridiculous right now, though, which, it's in character. They're trying to pick the BL novels that they want to throw out and the ones that they don't, and he doesn't see a difference between them all and then calls Kambaru shallow and not a pervert at all for enjoying looking at handsome boys kissing together. It's not scandalous. Of course, boys would like that. It's like an idol group, kind of. It's like what idol fans think idol groups do. Put it that way. Kambaru kind of has like this interpretive dance, like displaying her passion for BL. Again, just a funny, exaggerated joke. Very well executed. This shot's actually amazing. Like the two of them, kind of the sunlight in the background, and this foreground just full of junk. Again, it's like a construction site, right? And lots of signs, traffic cones. There's a wheelbarrow in the back. Looks like it's full of bricks, but it's full of BL novels. It's very fun. I have no choice but to prove my innocence, and then she tackles Araragi to the ground. It says like a bunch of rapey stuff, and then yeah, it's like his face turns into kind of this version of Hachikuji's face, or head, I should say, where it's like, oh yeah, this is what he does to Hachikuji all the time. Again, pointing the mirror at itself, a little bit self-critical. Blah 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 blah. Why is it okay when Araragi does this, and then when Kambaru does this, it's like a taste of your own medicine. And now that I've seen what that's like, I'm not going to do it anymore to Hachikuji. We'll see how long that lasts, but it's just the animation of him kind of tapping out as well. It's very fun. Yeah, and then kind of end into the ED. Not a lot of go forward for the next part of the story there, which maybe it's by design. Maybe we hop into a little bit more of the plot stuff next episode. But for now, we've been a little bit meandering, but I think the way they described it in the comments was that this was seen as kind of the final piece of Monogatari there for a while before it got way more popular. So I could see how this would kind of be like not a final goodbye, but kind of a check-in with everybody to see where they're at and how the story affected them up to this point. Yeah, it's very cool. I've come around a lot on the ED. I think it's a real slapper, and something I really enjoy. So I guess all in all, I understand the criticisms that people have for Nisemonogatari up to this point. Maybe it gets worse later, but definitely not as focused, a little bit more space for stuff to go on. But I think they've put the effort in early enough to make the characters likable where this stuff is still compelling viewing. I think that's important. That's something that a lot of shows miss out on, is if you have a compelling cast that bounces off each other very well, they can watch paint dry and make it interesting. That's how a lot of these that's how a lot of slice of life succeeds. Not that this is slice of life at all, but well, it is kind of. But I digress. Anyway, it's still very good, is what I'm getting at. I wouldn't call these my favorite episodes or anything, but they're very funny. A lot more funny than Kizu, which I said was a lot more dread and darkness and that kind of thing, which fit with the subject matter. This is a lot more breezy. I would call it breezy. Just like the summertime kind of setting it's got going on, it feels a lot like kind of summertime itself. Just time to relax. It's pretty cool. I like it. Next week, I'm only doing the one episode, so we'll see how that goes. But other than that, thank you for watching today. Just just some chill stuff before I leave. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything else I can do to improve my presentation, comment below. And I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back, and it'll be awesome. I'll get to see your tweets, you'll get to see my tweets, it'll be sick. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next week for more Monogatari. Alright, catch you later.